Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversation dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when we coming on live. I'm trying to get a consistent time coming on live, everybody. But, my week is real busy. So I'm trying to get a consistent day that I come on. Shalom to everybody. Blessings to everybody. If you're not on the Facebook page, just go on Facebook /Elephant Man Podcast. And then you can come on in. IG Elephant Man _podcast. All right. So that's where we can get on with some of those. All right. Shalom, family. Idiya's daughter. Shalom. Blessings to you. Blessings. I'm gonna put this going on. If anybody want to email me, you guys can email me right there. Today we have a very interesting show. The blessing about this is that you can always play it back if they don't take it down. Hopefully they don't take it down. They shouldn't take it down because I'm not going to use keywords. But it's very interesting. It's not a video that is what you call conspiracy theory or fake news or misinformation. It's none of those different things like that, right? It's just information that is pulled from public record, pulled from public. Darva Cotton 21, Shalom. Devora Cotton 21. I'm sorry. Shalom. Yeah, so I want to go right into it. Today's show, we're going to talk about just a few things. Today's show, let me get the box, is about MK Ultra, deep fake, and the sunken place, right? And the dangers of those different things that's going on. We're going to start off with MK Ultra first. I've learned a lot of different things about MK Ultra over the last really 48 hours. I knew about it, but I didn't know into the depths of it. And basically, MK Ultra was started by George Hunter White. Well, I'm going to play the video so you can be able to see it. But it's very interesting. Sidney Gottlieb, George Hunter White. It's basically like psychological torture. But the government, CIA, believe this or not, they bought $240,000 worth of LSD. And I'm not making this up. So let's get right into this video. Very interesting video. So I want you to be able to check it out for yourself. All right.
Two American spies have just arrived at Sandoz Laboratories, one of the world's leading pharmaceutical factories. The mission: corner the market on the world's supply of a powerful new psychoactive drug.
The CIA was scared stiff the KGB was going to get all this LSD and come over and start dosing people. So we bought every drop of LSD in existence at that point.
The CIA has just authorized the purchase of 10 kilograms of pure LSD-25, enough to dose more than half the population of the United States.
They gave it to George White and let George start dosing people.
George Hunter White, a larger-than-life undercover federal narcotics agent. Unbeknownst to his supervisors, White also works for the CIA. His job: to conduct experiments for an operation called Midnight Climax.
George had a CIA safe house stocked with booze. George would sit behind this one-way mirror, drinking martinis, sitting on a portable toilet. If he had to take a leak, he didn't want to get up and leave.
White pays prostitutes to lure their clients to the agency's safe house.
Hookers who would bring these suckers back to the apartment and dose them with pure LSD-25.
This is where I have my effect. In the mind.
This is lysergic acid diethylamide, better known as acid. The powerful drug was first synthesized in 1938 in Switzerland. With a dose of mere micrograms, the mind becomes confused. Perception is distorted. Personal identity is called into question. The results can be euphoric bliss or deadly panic. White takes meticulous notes and files his reports to his CIA handlers.
So that was how LSD was introduced to this country.
Operation Midnight Climax is part of a larger top-secret CIA program called MK Ultra. The goal: learn how to control and even reprogram people's minds. The CIA believes LSD might hold the key. Over the next 10 years, the agency doses a cross-section of the American public. Everyone from unwitting housewives to soldiers to even criminals like gangster Whitey Bulger is tested.
You know, what the CIA really dreamed of was sort of like a drug you could give to someone, get them to commit all sorts of unspeakable acts, and they wake up the next day and they don't remember what they've done.
They were looking into brainwashing. They were looking into mind control. They were looking into how they could create what they called Manchurian candidates. They were trying to figure out if they could get people to go out and do things that they would ordinarily not do, like assassination.
The case of MK Ultra has to be one of the craziest cases of blowback in CIA history, because here they took this drug, LSD, and thought that they were going to be able to use it to control people's minds. And the unbelievable irony is that LSD is a drug that does exactly the opposite. It frees your mind and causes people to question authority.
Turn on, tune in, drop out.
The CIA's attempt to control people turned out to be just the opposite. It created the counterculture as we know it of the 60s. It was the CIA that introduced LSD to the United States.
We were watching through surveillance some individuals gathered around a campfire looking like they were having a meeting. The main person we were going after was a facilitator of some type of network.
Wow. So that's very, very interesting. In the 1950s and stuff like that, they wanted to come up with LSD, come up with a drug to try to get some mind control over people and different populations. And that's very, very interesting. They bought the whole, they bought 240,000, the whole world supply of LSD back in that day, to try to, and they tried it on different groups, you know, and a lot of times, it's very funny, it become a full circle today in 2021, they say trust science, trust the man or whatever, but, you know, a lot of times the Tuskegee thing and the Tuskegee Project, MK Ultra, other different projects like that, they say, oh, that happened so long time ago, you know, we're better now. We're moral now. We wouldn't do those different things. But it's very, very interesting. But I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna share this audio with you. We're gonna move on. But they say during the early period of the Cold War, the CIA became convinced that the communists had discovered a drug technique that would allow them to control human minds. In response, the CIA began its own secret program called MK Ultra to search out the mind control drug that were weaponized against the enemies. Right? MK Ultra was operated from the 1950s to the early 60s. So they was doing this for over 10 years. Was created and ran by a chemist named Sidney Gottlieb, okay, and journalist Stephen Kisner, who spent several years investigating the program and said it's the most sustained search in history for techniques of mind control. Okay, so this is some very, very interesting things right here, man. Very, very interesting things. I'm gonna play this one audio rather. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. Pull it up. All right. Now, matter of fact, I'm gonna give you guys the link to this. It's the CIA's quest for mind control and torture, LSD, and a poisoner in chief. All right. So Terry Groves got this show called Fresh Air. We're gonna play a little bit of this. I want you to hear a little bit of this, okay? And then we're going somewhere with it. So I want you to just hang tight to your hat. But here is the link. You need that link. It's in the chat for what I'm about to play. And then press a 1 if you can hear it, okay? Because you should be able to hear it. Check it out.
There's a lot more to the CIA's experiments with LSD, and some of it is pretty about the CIA's secret experiments with LSD, through which 60s counterculture luminaries like Ken Kesey and Allen Ginsberg were first introduced to the drug. There's a lot more to the CIA's experiments with LSD, and some of it is pretty horrifying. My guest, journalist Stephen Kinzer, has spent several years investigating the CIA's mind control program.
Can you guys hear that? Okay. I'm not going to play it all. It's 37 minutes. I'm only going to play like 4 minutes of it.
Mind control program, which was known as MK Ultra. LSD was just one of the mind-altering drugs that were tested in the program to see if and how they could be weaponized to control human behavior. Many of the unwitting subjects of these experiments are subjected to what amounts to psychological torture. The MK Ultra program was created by Sidney Gottlieb in 1953. He ran it until it was shut down in the early 60s. Gottlieb was also the CIA's chief chemist, creating poisons and innovative ways of surreptitiously administering them. He also became head of the CIA program that creates high-tech gadgets for spies to use. Stephen Kinzer's new book is called Poisoner in Chief, Sidney Gottlieb and the CIA's Search for Mind Control. One of Kinzer's previous books was about the Dulles brothers, Alan and John Foster Dulles. Alan Dulles was the CIA director during most of the years MK Ultra was in operation. Stephen Kinzer, welcome back to Fresh Air. Let's start with, what was the mission of MK Ultra?
During the early period of the Cold War in the late 40s and early 1950s, the CIA became paralyzed with a fear that communists had perfected some kind of a drug or a potion or a technique that would allow them to control human minds. This was actually a greatly exaggerated fear, but it played on something cultural that affected everybody that grew up in the early 20th century. We were fed a lot of books and movies about the idea of mind control, that you could hypnotize someone or give someone a drug that would make them do something that otherwise they would never do. And seized by this myth, the CIA not only believed that communists had approached or reached this holy grail, but that the CIA should also find out a way to do it. So MK Ultra was a project lasting up to 10 years in which the CIA sought to find ways to control the human mind. They wanted to be able to have a truth serum that would make prisoners say everything they knew, also an amnesiac that would make people forget what they had done, and most important, a technique or a drug that would allow the CIA to direct agents to carry out acts like sabotage or assassination, and then forget who had ordered them to do it, or even that they had carried out the actions at all. So MK Ultra was the most sustained search in history for techniques of mind control.
So
Wow. I want you to listen to that whole thing. I put it in the chat, man. Shalom, shalom, brother Robert Callahan. Shalom, 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 Equinox Walker. Salama, salama. Facebook user 1. Type your name in the chat so I can know who you are. I don't know why I do that sometimes. Miss November 68. Shalom, shalom. Abby Cole in the building. Shalom, shalom. All right. So I don't know why why it does that. But anyway, that's just crazy, man. You know what I mean? It's about survival of the fittest. It's sometimes it's, man, that's why when cats be like, you know, I don't want to take the jab. I'm mom. Oh, my mom. Shalom to my mother. I don't know why your stuff is not coming up on there. Shalom to my mother for listening. But I don't know why cats, you know, get upset when you say, I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical. You know what I mean? It's just that I be honest, our government haven't had a squeaky clean pass. You know what I mean? To purchase all of LSD, you know what I mean? And you know, we can go down later on in the 70s and 80s. All right, shalom, Ja Tony. The 70s and 80s with the war on drugs, and I remember coming up and the war on drugs and everything. But it's like, man, how, you know, it got here. How did it get here? And I've seen the real Rick Ross story. Very, very interesting. And Gary Webb book listen to that book. It's a very, very interesting book that talk about it. But all these different, we got to combat this. We got to stop that. But you allow LSD to come in here, a mind alternating drug to come in here. You purchase all of it for the sake of mind control and weaponize it. So we got to thank the Most High that we got to be our clothed in our right mind, and we got to make sure we be transformed. Romans 12:1-2. Be not conformed to this world system, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds. We got to be transformed by the renewing of our mind, and we got to be clothed in our right mind, man. That's the last thing we got, because the enemy, I'm gonna tell you, in this end time, he wants the body and souls of men. This is not a doom and gloom message, but it's just a wake up call for us to wake up and make sure we turn on our plate fast, seek the Most High, and see what he wants us to do. You know what I mean? And everything that glitter ain't gold, and everybody that says they are allies are not our allies. You get a knife stab right in your back right here in this country right here. And to say, oh, that happened so long ago, that happened in the 50s, that happened, the mindset is the same. You know what I'm saying? And so that's very, very terrible with the MK Ultra. But I always thought about that too, as far as if somebody not in their right mind, you have them just do a devious act, like it was saying, assassination or something like that. Then when they snap out of it, they got life in prison or they got to go to the chair. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, it's a lot of slaughterheads, it's a lot of devious things. Even a lot of the movies we see nowadays, they're talking about the mind control. You know what I mean? I was thinking about that. I got a clip of that with the Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? With Bucky, it was certain words that were said, and he spazzed out and went into this real strong, crazy soldier after you say these certain words, trigger words. Hypnosis is real. Yeah, right. Economics Walker, nothing new. Hypnosis is very, very real, right? So, but I want to play this next part. We going somewhere with this. Trust me, track with me. All right. So let's see. Well, this is talking about what LSD do to your brain. I'm only gonna show a part of this, okay? Because we're talking about LSD. MK Ultra, deep fake, and the Sunken place. Check this out.
LSD, also known as acid, because, well, it is one. LSD stands for lysergic acid diethylamide, and it's a psychedelic drug known for giving people hallucinations and altering perceptions. You may have heard a lot about it, or even tried it yourself. No judgment. But how does it actually work? LSD is strong stuff. While other drugs are dosed in grams, a single dose of LSD is measured in 1/100,000th of a gram. That's even smaller than a grain of sand. So how did LSD come to be in the first place? It was first synthesized by the Swiss chemist and inventor Albert Hofmann, who's also the first known person to experience the mind-bending effects of LSD. Hofmann accidentally made LSD from the basic ingredients of ergot, a fungus that grows on rye, while he was searching for treatments for circulation and respiratory problems. He touched some of the fungus and then touched his mouth and accidentally got high. In fact, as he states in his autobiography, he perceived an uninterrupted stream of fantastic pictures, extraordinary shapes, with intense kaleidoscopic plays of color for nearly 2 hours. In other words, he was tripping. The next day, he ingested some more of the acid on purpose, just to be sure that it caused his psychedelic experience. He became so dizzy and altered that he asked an assistant to bicycle him home. Hofmann described that bike ride as a terrifying experience, and he believed that time had stood still. This all took place on April 19th, 1943, and has since been deemed Bicycle Day. But how exactly does LSD produce such trippy effects? LSD affects tons of your brain's receptors, including dopamine, adrenergic, glutamate, and serotonin. Serotonin in particular is especially important when it comes to the hallucinatory effects of the drug. The serotonin receptor that's involved in the hallucinatory experience is called 5-HT2A, which has a big role in the visual cortex. LSD hits this receptor at an unexpected angle, causing it to fold over the drug like a lid. This traps the LSD and causes the receptor to continuously fire. This is what causes the hallucinations. Luckily, Your body responds by absorbing the receptor into the cell in order to degrade the LSD. But the bad news is this step can take up to 12 hours, which is why some LSD highs last so long. Other effects of LSD include decreased blood flow in the default mode network, which is a network of interacting brain regions. This is linked to changes in consciousness and feeling that the boundary that separates you from the rest of the world has disappeared, which is why some people say that using LSD makes them feel more connected to others and the natural world. Sounds kind of nice, actually. But are there any bad side effects of LSD? Some people experience flashbacks to their highs, and in extreme cases, some people have developed hallucinogen persisting perception disorder, which is like...
Wow. Hallucinogen? I didn't want to make it a science class, man, but that is just crazy. So we know the effects of LSD on the brain. We've seen it. We have family, we have friends. Now we have opioids, but back in the 50s and the 60s it was LSD, and they would just go on these different trips, and it was very, very terrible. And Cindy Gottlieb, he was Hungarian. He was the director of the MK Ultra. He the one who okayed to buy and purchase a lot of that stuff. Look him up, Cindy Gottlieb and George Hunter White, and they was all into the psychological torture. And then the Manchurian Candidate. Of course, they had different movies about the Manchurian Candidate. I'm gonna read that definition. Manchurian Candidate is a person, especially a politician, being used as a puppet by an enemy power. Well, that's what they say. The term is commonly used to indicate disloyalty or corruption, whether intentional or unintentional. All right. So they was basically saying that Manchurian Candidate is like a puppet, pretty much. Some of Gottlieb's experiments were covertly funded at universities and research centers. Kaiser said while others were conducted in American prisons and in detention centers in Japan, Germany, and the Philippines. Many of his unwitting subjects endured psychological torture ranging from electroshock to high doses of LSD, according to Kaiser's research. Gottlieb wanted to create a way to seize control of people's minds, and he realized that it's in two parts. First, you had to blast away the existing mind. Wow, that's crazy. You had to blast away the existing mind, and second, you had to find a way to insert a new mind into that void. Man, that's demonic in a mug. Blast away the existing mind and insert a new mind, right? That's crazy. And then they would experiment on who. First of all, they would give it to people who didn't consent to it, right? And then second of all, they would just experiment on people in prisons and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's nothing new under the sun, man. It's okay. It's okay to know what's in your medicines that you're taking. I think it's okay. You want to put a drug in your body, right? A chemical in your body. You got to know what it is. You got to tell me the truth. And you got to have my consent. That was one of the things that was going on with the early medical apartheid. They did not have people consent. Shalom, Rohan, shalom. Yeah, my mom said the hippie movement. She grew up in the 60s. Not to date her. Not to, but you know, and that was the tripping and the free love and the LSD, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, the whole love movement with the Beatles and everything like that. And that drug took a lot of people out and messed a lot of minds up. So, but that's crazy though, to give people without consent. You know what I mean? And look at what we have now in our medical right now, forcing us to take things, separating us. You know, those who don't do it, they consider anti, you know, and those who are doing it, you know, they're trying to create a reward system for those who are doing it. Now, again, you can take it or you don't have to take it, but you shouldn't be forced to take it, is in my opinion. All right. So that was that MK Ultra, right? That's very, very interesting that they bought $240,000 worth of LSD and brought it to the U.S. When you bring these drugs over here, yeah, it's going, you know, same thing with the opioid. We go a war on terror and bring opioids over here. Now we got an opioid crisis. In the 80s, they had the Iran Contra brought the crack, got the coca plant, turned it into crack, right? Which is a step down version of cocaine. It's not as strong as actual cocaine, but if you get caught with a crack rock, you get more years and more time than you get with actual powder. Because they knew that people up in Hollywood and Beverly Hills was snorting the actual pure powder, right? And in our neighborhoods, the black and brown neighborhoods, they had the cocaine, the crack rock. And so they was locking up the people who were the abusers and the sellers, right? They didn't look at the sellers as, hey man, you know, this is a sickness. Let's get you some treatment. They lock everybody up. You got caught with it. That's it. You know, it affect my family and friends, and a lot of family and friends. A lot of people are still recovering from that. And then full circle, 20 years later, oh, you know what? It's legal now. It's medicinal and recreational, and they got the little, you know. Now it's like, this is insane. You did a whole war on drugs thing, and then flip around, turn around, and make it legal. You know what I mean? So that's very, very interesting, man. Very, 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 very interesting. Okay, I want to see what was going on right there. Okay, so now let's go on to this next part. The next part, this is very, very interesting, is the deep fake. When I seen it, I was tripping off of it, right? The deep fake technology. So I'm gonna show this next video. Now, you know, it got a little cursing in it, so I apologize ahead of time for the cursing. But I want to show the whole video, okay? Very, very interesting.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you. And stay woke, bitches.
So again, I apologize for the cursing. I want you to see the whole video. But that's the technology that they use right now with CGIs and green screens. It's not an old technology. I mean, it's not a new technology, but you see how dangerous that could be? That could be very, 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 very dangerous. So Jordan Peele, he sounds almost like Barack, right? And you can put the CGI, this technology, this deep fake technology on anybody and make them say or do anything. And, you know, and a lot of times we play with that too, with the filters on our phone, you know, make us a baby or make us a tiger or change our eyelashes. And, you know, I'm like, what the heck? You know what I mean? That's all that same technology. You know what I mean? But they can take your image and make you say and do anything. You know what I mean? Especially if somebody, it's a dangerous time we're living in, man. Very, 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 very dangerous time. I know Equinox Walker. I was the same way because I seen the video at first and they didn't shoot it over to Jordan Peele. And I was like, dang, Barack on here cussing. You know, then I was like, oh. And they were saying this way you can find out that if that wasn't him because of the blinking and because of the, that's dangerous. Somebody was mentioning like if they put a deep fake of, I don't know, one of the country's enemies. What's good? Shadow Wade, shalom. Well, the enemy's country, the country's enemy can say, I hate y'all, this, that, and the other, and I just sent some nukes your way. By the time you figure out it's a deep fake or whatever, man, they mounting up and shooting back. They clapping back, you know what I mean? And it's too late by then, you know what I mean? So we live in a lot of deceptive period. John 10:10 said the enemy come to steal, kill, and destroy. Yahushua said he come that you may have life and that more abundantly. So we got to stay prayed up, man, because that technology right there is unreal, right? And they do it all the time in movies and stuff, right? They do it all the time in movies, but it could you can see how it could be dangerous, right? And so back in the days when they used to try to blackmail celebrities and artists, they have them do something real wild, you know what I mean? And they'll take the pictures of them or have a video of them, and they will say, okay, we want you to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And they were like, oh, I don't want to do that. And they'll say, okay, if you don't do it, then I'm going to release this tape. I'm going to release these videos of you doing crazy things or saying crazy things. And so the person, a narcissistic person, a lot of times a celebrity, their image is everything. They don't, a lot of times they don't think about they're made it, their imago Dei, they made it the image and likeness of the Most High. Their image is everything. And so it's like, oh man, that tape can't get out, that video can't get out, that picture can't get out. And so that's a force. That's got to be miserable. It ain't no paycheck in the world that's worth it. You know what I mean? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world system and lose his soul? That don't add up. You know what I mean? They used to do that, or people have fear of getting their endorsements taken away, right? They have all of these different endorsements or different things. Hey, if you say this or don't do that, we're going to take your endorsement, right? But now they got full-fledged mind control. They got CGIs and deep fakes and have you saying and doing all kind of stuff, man. It's wicked, man. It's wrapping up, man. We live in a dangerous time. But this gonna talk a little bit about the CGI a little bit. Then we're gonna move on to the next thing.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time.
Jordan Peele created this fake video of President Obama to demonstrate how easy it is to put words in someone else's mouth.
Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet.
Not everyone bought it, but the technology behind such frauds is rapidly improving, even as worries increase about their potential for harm. This is your Bloomberg Quick Take on deepfakes. Deepfakes, or realistic-looking fake videos and audio, gained popularity as a means of adding famous actresses into porn scenes. Despite bans on major websites, they remain easy to make and find. They're named for the deep learning artificial intelligence algorithms that make them possible. Input real audio or video of a specific person, the more the better, and the software tries to recognize patterns in speech and movement. Introduce a new element like someone else's face or voice, and a deepfake is born.
It's actually extremely easy to make one of these things. There were just some supposed, breakthroughs from academic researchers who work with this particular kind of machine learning in the past few weeks, which would drastically reduce the amount of video you need actually to create one of these.
Programs like FakeApp, the most popular and widely available for making deep fakes, need dozens of hours of human assistance to create a video that looks like this, rather than this. In August, researchers at Carnegie Mellon revealed software that accurately rendered not just facial features, but changing weather patterns and flowers in bloom. This advance is not yet available to the public. But with increasing capability comes increasing concern.
This is kind of fake news on steroids, potentially. We do not know of a case yet where someone has tried to use this to perpetrate a kind of fraud or an information warfare campaign, or for that matter, to really damage someone's reputation. But
wow, did you see that? You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of times cats going on watching the news, you know what I mean? And it could be a deep fake, man. I mean, how do you know? I mean, unless you're sitting in the room with them, we get that. They got cameras and they asking questions. They had a disclosed location saying, I hate this and that, and I'll do this. I want to do this to you and that to you. And you are mad at a CGI. You are mad at a deep fake video. You feel what I'm saying? Tell me, man. The crisis actors is going, and I'm not being conspiracy theory. I'm just showing the information. This is public record, public information. And that whole crisis actor thing, I couldn't believe it. They pay you so much money to be a crisis actor, to go into the midst of the crowds or the protests or whatever. And not just the Black Lives Matter protests. They was having them all the time and dress up and have they, have them on there crying and looking all sad, and they paid actors and actresses. I like, what? I couldn't. Why would anybody want to be a crisis actor, man? It's just terrible, man. We live in a deceptive time. We live in a deceptive time. So everything you see ain't all what it seems, man. It's very, very deceptive. Okay, and he said deepfake could be fake news on steroids. And man, this online manipulation is used to distort the truth. That is crazy, man. So we got to be careful, even when the things that we share and stuff like that, to make sure it's legit. You know what I mean? There's different ways that we can make sure that stuff is legit and have different sources to, instead of one source and then post it. You know what I mean? We post stuff a lot. You know what I mean? So we got to make sure, man. And even that Spider-Man movie, I know some of y'all don't watch it, but that Spider-Man movie with Mysterio, right? He had these different drones and stuff and created all of this chaos and everything. And then he came in and saved the day. You know what I mean? And that's crazy to create order out of chaos. You create the problem, and then you come in and fix it. You come in and save the day. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different things going on. We got a lot of comments in here. Let's see. Shalom, Blacktastic, blessings, brother. Dale J, Salama family. You already know, man. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Shauna Wade, shalom, shalom. But yeah, man, we live in a very deceptive time. Very, very deceptive time. Amen. And so when you say that, then they say, oh, it's conspiracy theory. And no, I just asked the question. I mean, if you have some other information, yes, the age of massive deception. The age of massive deception. Absolutely. If you got a different way of how it's done, how it's said, you know what I mean? And so when these things happen, and then they say, take a jab. I don't know. Please. I don't know. I give you a lottery ticket. I don't know. I give you a cheeseburger. I don't know. I give you. No, I'm serious. Lottery tickets, cheeseburgers. What else? Krispy Kreme donut, right? And then all of a sudden it just went south. They just like, man, it's mandatory now. We're gonna bust you in your jaw and take your job. I'm like, dang, it's crazy, man. Getting forced, man. Forced to be a lab rat. But I ain't gonna say a lab rat because I got family friends that took it. And I salute and support that. If you took it, I pray for you. It's all good. But I'm saying we shouldn't be forced to take it. That should be Gene Pope in the building. That should be a red flag. And I seen one meme that was very, very interesting, not provoking. He said, we getting the jab for free because they care about us and they love us. But we don't get free insulin and we don't get free chemo if for cancer patient. You care about us and you love us, run that insulin through, right? Run them different medicines through that we need. And I got another video coming out on that too, how they we got over to petroleum and everything from a Truth Unedited. He opened up a lot of good stuff on that, but we're not talking about that right now. Let's see what Rocket have to say. I think CGI and paints, all the fabrication of mirrors and paint. Yeah. And we got it on our phones. We got it on our phones and stuff. You know, the different filters and stuff that can change your face and change different things like that, man. Living in a deceptive time, man. So we just got to stay prayed up, and we got to have a high level of discernment. So we got to turn down that plate, get a high level of discernment, and the Most High will let us know. This one thing I wanted to share with you guys now, the sunken place. Remember, there's a lot of different ways of mind manipulation, from the synthetic weed, but that's kind of crazy though. When I've seen the videos of the synthetic weed and brothers all rolling in the street, that's kind of, makes me sad. I'd be almost about to cry when I see it. That's out of control. I'm talking about capturing somebody's mind, and they just a shell, but you got their brain. You got their mind, their will, their emotion. They're just a shell. And they're saying and doing things against their own will or something that they wouldn't normally say. That's dangerous, man. So I'm gonna show these videos from Get Out, and then I'm gonna show you some interesting that I want you to see something. But let's look at these videos. Let's look at these Get Out ones first. This scene, if you ain't ever seen that movie, Get Out is very, very they was trying to make it a comedy at first. But I seen it, I'm like, nah, that ain't no comedy. It's a few little funny parts in there where real man makes some jokes. That ain't no comedy. That mug he might be telling the truth, man. But this is the scene when the brother in Get Out meet the other brother, and watch what happened right here.
Come on. Oh, hey, hang on, Chris, I want to introduce you to some friends. This is David and Marsha Wincott, Ronald and Celia Jeffries, Hiroki Tanaka, and Jessica and Friedrich Wald.
Too many names to remember, but hi.
Do you find being African American has more advantage or disadvantage in the modern world?
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Hey. Yo, my man. They were asking me about the African-American experience. Maybe you could take this one.
Oh. Well, I find that the African-American experience for me has been, for the most part, very good. Although, I find it difficult to go into detail as I haven't had much desire to leave the house in a while.
We've become such homebodies.
Yes, but even when you go into the city, I've just had no interest. The chores have become my sanctuary. Get out.
Sorry, man.
Okay.
Get out! Yo, chill, man. Get out! Chill, man. Chill. Fuck out of here.
Seizures create anxiety, which can trigger aggression.
Yeah, but like randomly attacking other people?
Oh, it's not random. You know, it was your flash. That's what set him off. Hey.
Well,
how's he doing?
it's much better.
I imagine that I owe you all an apology.
No. We're just very happy that you're yourself again.
Yes, I am. And I thank God for you for calming me down. I know that I must have frightened you all quite a bit, especially you, Chris.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Flash, I didn't know.
Of course not. How could you have?
And you shouldn't have been drinking either.
Well, I'll have to let you all get on the rest of the night without the aid of my marvelous wit. The whole ordeal has made me quite a bit exhausted.
Wow. Gaslighting on steroids, man. Woo! Every time I see that, I'll be like, wow, you know what I mean? That's crazy. Because he is just glassy-eyed. He didn't blink. He was just it was just crazy, man. The bodies and souls of men is what the enemy want. To alter the inside and make us transhuman. And I know that sounds real science fiction-y, man, but we living in a time where it's interesting. You know what I mean? And so that's why he was looking kind of shocked. It's like, how you think the experience was? And he was just like, it was okay. And the dude was looking like, what? No, man, we had some interesting times here under 400 years in this country. You know what I mean? So for you to say it's okay, man, what? So even when we see stuff on TV, they be like, man, it's okay, man. You know, you see different celebrities say weird stuff, you know, Herschel Walker or whoever. And you never know, man. They could be under, you know, us in a sunken place for real, man. Or it could be the sunken place of that bag. Sometimes you don't have to go into a deep transformation, but it might be that bag. And some people even say that K West, you know what I mean, might be going back and forth with that. You know, when to take a snap and you snap out of it, and you know, take them and put them back under the control. Man, it's very sad, man. The things that our celebrities have to go through, and they got Pimp My Ride and Welcome to My Crib and all of the MTV Crib. You sitting at home like, man, I want to be in their shoes. Well, not all of us, but I know a lot of young people that's like, man, I would love to have a bag like that. And they got a Maserati and they got this, that, and the other. But I'm like, at what price, man? What's the cost, man? It's just crazy. So I'm going to show this other sunken place part where she actually put him in the sunken place. And I'm going to show 3 videos that could be some actual people that was in the sunken place. So check it out.
You hear the rain?
Mm-hmm.
You hear it? Find it. Tell me when you found it. Come here, Chris. Look at me.
Found it.
Where was your mom?
She was coming home. She wasn't home.
From work.
Mm.
And what do you do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I just sat there.
You didn't call anyone?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I just thought that if I did, it'd make it real.
You're so scared. You think it was your fault? How do you feel now?
I can't move.
You can't move.
Why can't I move?
You're paralyzed. Just like that day when you did nothing. You did nothing. Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink. Now you're in the sunken place.
Wow, man. Now you're in a sunken place. The hypnosis. Hypnosis is real, man. There's different ways to hypnotize people. We had somebody come to a college one time. He was a hypnosis guy, and some of my friends was like, yeah, we should go get. I said, no, we shouldn't go do nothing. I'm not getting hypnotized, man. That's crazy, you know. But it was real weird because he put them down. And he put some napkins in front of them. It's like, these napkins, when you wake up, these napkins is going to be a pile of $100 bills or something like that. And when you wake up, you know, you can take as many as you want. So he put these like 4 college students to sleep. They woke up. I don't know what he did. They woke up. He was throwing the napkins like he was throwing $100 bills, and they was all just fighting for it. And it was crazy. It was crazy. But that's some real stuff, man. That hypnosis and it's interesting. But I'm going to show something that you might say, okay, those are movies, right? Okay, those are movies. But what about that Al Roker when he got frozen on the Today Show? I don't know y'all seen that. Some of y'all seen that, but I'm going to show it. Hold on, let me get rid of this. When he got frozen on the Today Show, you let me know, right? I'm not saying he in the sunken place. Some people say he was in the sunken place, but just watch his facial expressions after the other newscasters say the Holy Ghost. Watch this.
I'm Savannah Guthrie alongside Matt Lauer and Al Roker. Will someone do the junior high hug dance? It's like this. You gotta make it real awkward.
That's exactly how you have to have a certain amount of distance between the bodies in junior high.
Yes, like they say in Catholic school, leave room for the Holy Ghost. Anyway, there it's a lot of memories today, actually. It's a big day in music history.
35 years ago today, Elvis Presley passed away, the king of rock and roll. And as Mark Cohn says in his great song, Walking in Memphis, there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle.
See that? So she said, leave room for the Holy Ghost. He froze for 13 seconds. I'm going to play it again. He's playing. He's funny. He's Al Roker. And then, so she say, leave room for the Holy Ghost. He don't even blink. But what y'all think? Because I know he conspiracy theory dude. Okay. But check it out one more time.
I'm Savannah Guthrie alongside Matt Lauer and Al Roker. Will someone do the junior high hug dance? It's like this. You gotta make it real awkward.
That's exactly how you have to have a certain amount of distance between the bodies in junior high.
Yes, like they say in Catholic school, leave room for the Holy Ghost. Anyway, there it's a lot of memories today, actually. It's a big day in music history.
35 years ago today, Elvis Presley passed away, the king of rock and roll. And as Mark Cohn says in his great song, Walking in Memphis, there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle.
What happened to him? I don't know. I ain't going to say he went to the sunken place. Clips reloaded disclaimer. Okay, clips reloaded. Use copyright fair. Use disclaimer. Okay, clips reloaded. Stream. Clips reloaded. What are you saying? Your stream was down for a minute because of YouTube violations. Oh, my stream was down for a minute because of YouTube violations. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get hit up for this video. If they take this video down, guys, I'm going to put it on a different platform and put the link to it. But let's I got 2 more to show and then we can get out of here. All right. So let's clips reloaded. Yeah, email me clips reloaded. Email me. All right, here's my email. All right, so let's go to just 2 more. This is one when Shaq, everybody know about this one. When Shaq glitches on the air, he's just frozen. Hold on, what do you see what they gotta say? Yeah, Roker straight froze. Yeah, hopefully they won't take this one down. But anyway, let's check out I'm gonna show this one. Well, Shaq is just straight froze. Check it out.
EJ's Neato stat of the night.
Presented by no one.
What's that?
That could only be the musical stylings of Victor Oladipo, who is the reigning 2-time champion of the All-Star Weekend player talent show.
You are talented. I'll give you a little credit on that. A lot of credit. You're very talented. I mean, you're not a karaoke guy like me, but you can ask. You know they call me O'Brown Eyes, right?
As a matter of fact, you both have experience singing New York, New York. His was at the slam dunk contest. Yours was in Vegas.
Yes.
We had the show out there. Here's just a little sampling.
In old New York?
Yeah. The long-awaited duet. Victor Oladipo, Charles Barkley, New York, New York.
Hey, yo, let me lead, bro.
That was very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. He just was froze. I don't know what was going on with him. You know, could be. I'm not tying that to that, but this is very weird. You know what I mean? Those different things happen on the set. You know, the last one right here was Draymond Green, and then we gonna pray and get out of here. Oh, let me see. Yeah, Shaq. Yeah, he does play. That's what I like. He got perfect steal. You know, that was very interesting.
But it's been
Watch Draymond.
But it's been a heck of a ride, to be honest. I really can't complain. Yeah, I was I was a little down. I found out I was injured and I had to have surgery again, or with another knee. But at the end of the day, you know, I have amazing teammates. You know, guys like Draymond, everybody on this team, they come over there, they wrap their hands around me.
He froze, then he came up out of it, man. That's crazy, man. So yeah, sometimes when you play certain clips and then you get dinged, you get hit up. But I think you can upload some videos or other videos. You can just show clips of it. So we'll see what's. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Sometimes it could just been. I mean, I don't know. When you daydream, I don't know. Do we do that when we daydream? Do we just boom? When we daydream, I don't know. We blink a little bit, we scratch our head a little bit, we move a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's almost like in that movie. You know, that dude, he played an excellent part. They got the jazz. These are older videos, Dale. So this is before C-19 and all of that. I'm not saying they got the jab. I'm saying there's just weird, man. It's a lot of little videos like that. This was some Al stuff they have going on. Yeah, man. And some people say that EJ is Shaq's handler and all of that. And I don't know. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it's very weird. It's just very, very weird. And so we gotta, the enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy. Yahushua say, I come that you may have life and that more abundantly. We got to guard our mind. We got to be clothed in our right mind. You know what I mean? And I read on Friday about Mark 5. Read Mark 5 about the one man. He was full of. He wasn't clothed in his right mind. He was full of demons, and they couldn't even. They was trying to bind him with chains, and he break the chains and throw himself in the fire and just do all kind of crazy stuff. Then he seen Yahushua, and then he started getting spooked out. Like, you coming to torment me before my time? Because the devils know. They know their time is short. They know the time is about to be up. And so he was like, no, come out of him. What's your name? My name is Legion, for we are many. And told him to come out and then go into the pigs. And the pigs went and drowned themselves in the nearby body of water. But then they said he was clothed and in his right mind after the Legion had left. You know what I mean? And so all of it is not a demonic possession, but it's different ways how you have an altered state of mind. You have an altered mind. The enemy's trying to take control of the mind, will, and emotions in these last days. I think that's what he's trying to do. And it got different ways, right? Whether it's through deception, whether it's through, I don't know if you ever watched 1984, the movie 1984, read the book 1984. In the book, it's about a utopia, but you got these different workers, and 15 minutes or 5 minutes, they will play. It's called 5 Minutes of Hate, and they would show different pictures of the people who they didn't like, and they would sit there and they would scream at scream at it. You know what I mean? Predictive programming, right? So we got to guard our mind. We can't get too much of CNN or too much Fox News, too much any of that stuff, because it's not there to inform us of the news, but it's there to get us caught up and get our mind, will, and emotions caught up and what their next plan is instead of trusting in the Most High. You know, the Bible changed not. He said, I'm the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. You know what I mean? But this place changed. Like Sister, shout out to Sister Angie. She said, you watch the news on Monday, they say one thing. By Thursday, they said a whole other different thing. It's like, man, you think we stupid? We just forgot from Monday? You know what I mean? And so we got to have these conversations. We got to pray. We got to keep our mind, will, and emotion. Ask the Lord to keep our mind, will, and emotion intact. You know, because that's what we got. Once we lose our mind, you know, everything else will follow. You know what I mean? And so I always think about those different assassinations and assassination attempts when they just, you know, Lee Harvey Oswald and all these different Sirhan, and all these different people, these assassins, they just snapped and wouldn't kill them. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, what for? What? You know what I'm saying? So I always think about, was they under manipulation? Was they under mind control? You know what I mean? Your shell is the zombie. You talk about zombie, like there's many different ways of to zombify the mind, whether it's through drugs, whether it's through manipulation, whether it's through hypnosis, different things like that. So anyway, Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversation, dealing with Everson Room. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to have Moray Brown from Boom Church from Atlanta, Georgia. And then Morah, Only Austin. Only Love Austin from Prophetic Whirlwind Ministries. Very, very powerful. Got a book. I got to get this book and get caught up on reading it, you know, before I have her on. So that show is October the 11th. So that's coming up. But tomorrow at 7:45 is Moray Brown from Atlanta Boom Church. All right. So and also UBI, Universal Basic Income, coming up. I don't know when I'm gonna do that, but we're gonna get that going. So make sure you like, subscribe, share. All right, subscribe. Facebook /Elephant Man Podcast. You can come on in there, and with the family, you can post some different pictures and different articles and different things like that. I have no problem. If you ain't subscribed yet, I don't know why you haven't. Go to YouTube, subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when we come up with new material. All right. Who was that? What's my person name? Clips Reloaded. Email me. Let me know what's going on. I'm gonna play this back and see what happened. You know, sometimes they, you know, take the videos down if you got copyrights or whatever. But all right, man. Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversation, dealing with Evans in the room. Blessings, peace, and shalom. Perfect.